Currently in 2021, there are 12 Fortnite players that have over $1 million in cash earnings. A large majority of these players are under the age of 20, meaning in less than 20 years of their life, they have made more money than most people will make in all of their life. Here's how you can become one of these players and succeed in competitive Fortnite. In the summer of 2017, Fortnite was released, but the Epic Games developers had no idea that their game was going to change the history of gaming. Currently at the time, the most competitive games were CSGO, League of Legends, PUBG, and H1Z1. All four of these games had big names in the esports organizations such as TSM, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, and the most famous FaZe Clan. But when Fortnite was released, in only months, it became one of the most popular games around the world. Fortnite being a battle royale where 100 people would drop down on one island and have to fight to survive to get better loot in the hopes that they would be the last team or player alive was so satisfying that it drew in millions of new players. Even though the idea of a battle royale was not created by Fortnite, it was significantly improved. When the Epic Games developers added the building mechanic, they had no idea that it was going to create the highest skill cap of all time. There is no game truly like Fortnite. Even though Fortnite created the highest skill cap of all time, when it was released, it was not meant to be a competitive game. In fact, Epic never hosted a single tournament until after a year the game had been released. Though Epic didn't host any tournaments though, during the first year, players were still trying to become the best of the best. Names like Ninja, Daequan, and Tfue rose to the top because they were so good at the game. In fact, Ninja was so good, him and Reverse 2K won 52 duo matches in a row without a single loss, which broke the record at the time. Ninja's Fortnite skills and his ability to entertain an audience is what made him one of the most successful gamers of all time. In fact, he made roughly $10 million in just the year of 2018 from Fortnite. Now, after being begged by the community for so long, Epic finally announced its first Fortnite tournament in Season 5 of 2018. It was called the Summer Skirmish, and it was everything but a letdown. Epic fed in over $8 million into the prize earnings, with first place winning over $100,000 in cash. Obviously, with this amount of money, the community went absolutely crazy. Views on Twitch and YouTube went through the roof, and the same esports organizations I talked about earlier started looking at Fortnite. Everybody saw the new game as a chance to make a name for themselves. The now famous Mongrel became one of the first Fortnite players to be signed as a pro at just the age of 13, making him one of the few 13-year-olds to get a paycheck at the end of each month. While Mongrel was one of the first Fortnite pros, he was surely not going to be the last. With the first Fortnite tournament being a massive success, Epic didn't stop there. They hosted another tournament just 2 months later called the Fall Skirmish, which was another massive hit. And then another tournament, and then another, until they were hosting at least one massive tournament every season. At this point, there were thousands of Fortnite pros, and rightfully so. Epic announced that in the year of 2019, they were going to feed over $100 million into the competitive prize pool. They also announced the World Cup, which went down in history as one of the largest esports tournaments in the world. The World Cup finals had as many as 2 million people watching at one time, which made the Fortnite World Cup the largest esports tournament at the time. The World Cup changed the lives of hundreds of people, and rightfully so. To make it to the finals, you had to qualify through 10 weeks, 5 weeks of solos and 5 weeks of duos, and out of those 10 weeks, 200 people qualified themselves to go to New York City and compete in the World Cup finals. Within the first 10 weeks of the qualifiers, over 10 million players competed, but the qualifiers were just the start. The finals occurred over 2 days, 1 day for duos and 1 day for solos, and over these 2 days, $30 million were won in prizes. I'm sure you already know that the 16-year-old at the time, Kyle Booga, won $3 million just himself, which gives him the highest amount of Fortnite earnings. The man can literally earnings check anyone because he has more than $1 million over the second place, Aqua, in Fortnite earnings. But after the World Cup was over, Epic didn't stop hosting tournaments. Instead of hosting LAN tournaments, they started to host completely online tournaments. Every season after the World Cup, Epic hosted a Fortnite Champion Series. This is where players would try to qualify for finals so they could compete against the best 100 players in their region. Now, the FNCS prize pool wasn't as good as LAN's were, but it didn't stop many people from competing. Epic also started hosting weekly cash cups so underrated players could try to make a name for themselves. So to be successful in competitive Fortnite, you need to become the best player you can be. Since there are so many people competing, there's no room for mistakes. If you make a mistake, then somebody else won't, and they will surpass you. We are seeing tons of new Fortnite pros pop up all the time in the competitive scene. A large majority of these new players are people who have grinded in creative several hours a day so they can master the art of fighting. Ever since creative was introduced in Season 7, Fortnite players as a total have been getting much better. This is because creative is the best way to practice and master your mechanical skill in Fortnite. Things like building, editing, and fighting are all easy to improve while playing creative, so if you're not playing creative at least an hour each day, you're going to get behind. One of the best Fortnite players in the world right now, Clix, was known as a creative player. He once said that he would play upwards to 5 hours of creative a day, and now he has mastered his technique of fighting, allowing him to be able to dominate in tournaments with ease. Meaning if you want to go pro, then you need to be playing creative. Once you are able to master your fighting skills to the point where you can qualify for finals and semi-finals of tournaments, that is when you need to start playing pro scrims. Scrims is where you practice stacked end games and build better game sense. Most Fortnite pros will play 5 hours of pro scrims each day so they can become the best. An old saying once said, "It takes 10,000 hours of practice to truly master something." And if you're not willing to put that practice in to become the best of Fortnite, then somebody else will. The biggest advice I can give you to go pro in Fortnite is to truly understand the game. Fortnite has been out for over 3 years now, so if you are bad at the game, you either just don't care or you don't put enough time or effort into it. If you're bad at one skill in Fortnite, just look up a video and practice until you've mastered it. There are thousands of Fortnite pros you can watch to get better. Copy what they do and then learn how to do it better. The only thing stopping you from going pro in Fortnite is yourself. My name is Kool-Aid, and this has been How to Succeed in Competitive Fortnite.